Let's speak more about the situation on the Red Sea as well as the wider regional implications. We're now joined by Dr. Burak Sakir Seker, Maritime Security Analyst and International Relations Professor at Ankara Haci Bayram Veli University. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Perhaps let's start with the Houthi movement or group. What do we need to know about it? Because internationally you hear it sometimes being described as a rebel movement. You hear them being described as terrorists. Who are the Houthis?
When we say the Houthis, we should remember, of course, their first name, Ansar Allah. It means in Arabic, supporters of God. This is an armed group that controls most parts of Yemen, including the capital Sana'a and some of the western and the northern areas close to Saudi Arabia. And it's a Shia Islamist political and military organization. So it has a very close relationship with Iran, and it's some substitutional part of the Shias, Zaidi Shias, and they emerged in 1990s, but they rose to the prominence in 2014 when the group rebelled against Yemen's government, and that caused a humanitarian crisis in the region, in the country. So the group spent years with Iran's back, fighting with the Saudi Arabia and its coalition, especially supported by the United Arab Emirates. And at the end, the two warring sides have also repeatedly tried to hold the region, and then they came to do peace talks, but they couldn't make it. Then we saw these developments in the region, and we should keep in mind either this is a group that's supported by Iran, but it is not an Iranian proxy. It has its own base, its own interests, and its own ambitions.
When you speak of its own ambitions, what do we need to know about its strategy on the Red Sea, which has since courted the wrath of the United Kingdom and the United States?
When we exactly analyze the region, those recent attacks on commercial vessels by Houthi militia have put the vital shipping region in the spotlight. And Yemen-based rebels claim to be targeting the Israeli-linked vessels and in protest at Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza. And as an answer to those attacks, US and UK also launched a series of strikes on Yemen against the rebels. And the reason why this region is very important, because there's a strait, Bab al-Mandab, as you know, between Yemen in the Middle East, Djibouti, or North Africa. It's one of the world's busiest oil transit points, and is of great importance for the Red Sea. And it's an important transit route, it's a trade route, and its proximity to the Indian Ocean and the Persian Gulf reduces shipping distances, as you know. And when you can't make it this way available, then all the prices, all the cost of global trade and global energy transportation is going up. For example, an oil tanker leaving the Gulf would reach to the port of London in 14 days if it used the Strait of Hormuz and then Red Sea. But if it is limited or it is prevented, then it should use the South African route, and then it could take 24 days. It means additional 10 days at sea. It's a huge cost for the shipping companies. So when it comes to the trade interest, when it comes to the economic interest, of course, other states, especially the US-led states, US, UK, and other supporters, not in terms of militarily, but regarding the politically or the economically, such as Italy, France, and Japan, are now trying to stop those attacks. But they couldn't from the last attacks in 2 days. So now we can say all the shipping companies now forwarding the ships to not the Bab al-Mandab, but to the South African route and taking the additional 10 days. And now we are seeing the unbelievable insurance prices and other things.
Mm-hmm. And so when we speak of the response, for instance, of the United States and the United Kingdom, one, how long can the Houthis keep this up for? And should the retaliation get worse, what do you perceive will happen in the region?
Actually, it is not very easy to have a perspective about the process, about the long term, but in the short term or mid term, we can say that this crisis will be going on. Why? Because Houthis are not alone here. They are getting the support of the Iran and even the Northern Korea. North Korean government also sent some missiles, sent some guns to the region, as you know. So when we think about those supports from those countries' supporters, although they are denying officially, of course, we can say that they will get the ammunition, they will get the financial aid, and then in the short term and in the mid term, we see those attacks available. So the only solution could be in the region to have an agreement with the Houthi group, especially there was an agreement just before those events in the Middle East, and it sparked again after the Gaza attacks by Israel. Now that table should be again reestablished, and then they need to talk about the situation not only in Yemen, but of course in Gaza and other other places that crisis is ongoing. So the attacks of the American ships or the British ships are the not exact things that we can find the answers. We can find the ultimate solutions. The only solution would be the diplomacy, peace talks with the Houthis and asking them what are they wanting in the region. And the answer from them could be, of course, first of all, the stop of the attacks by Israel in Gaza, and the next thing, the ultimate power in Yemen. So there will be a round table between the actors, not only the states, but the other actors. Then that solution will be on the table as a consequence to stop those attacks. Otherwise, we'll see these attacks every day, every week. And just before this interview, I had a friend at ships, at the petroleum ships. They were saying we were feeling ourselves under very near attack, and it is not very logical to take the route to Bab el-Mandab because it's too close to get a hit. But of course, that hit doesn't necessarily mean that ship will be exploded or get hurted. But at least some accidental occasions could happen, and there could be a possibility of the loss of lives in the ships. So those things will be hampering the route to the Bab el-Mandab and change the routes to the South African way.
Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Dr. Burak Sakir Seker is an international relations professor at Ankara Haci, Bayram Veli University.